Okay, look, I'm a natural born skeptic. Naturally inquisitive, always have been. And I naturally been suspicious towards people in general, but particularly towards information. All throughout school, especially in high school, I was naturally skeptical of information in history classes, social studies, English classes. Anytime there was a class that was either focused on or there was lessons and instruction on history, culture, race, politics, whether we're talking high school, college, undergrad, grad school, what have you, with all of those types of classes, I've always been suspicious and skeptical of the information and the instruction being given. Now I say all of this to say I fell into I was what people call the conspiracy theory folk. I was a conspiracy theorist. I still am a conspiracy theorist, but either because of the information and the studying that being a conspiracy theorist made me go down the rabbit hole every time something piqued my interest. Being naturally suspicious and skeptical made me go down the rabbit hole. In so doing, when I climb back out of the rabbit hole, sometimes I come back with a sense of validation, the conspiracy is correct, and sometimes I come with a sense of invalidation, the conspiracy theory did not hold true. So now again, I say all of that to say there isn't necessarily anything inherently wrong with being a conspiracy theorist. But if, as a conspiracy theorist, you just simply believe everything that is an alternative theory to whatever the consensus is, or whatever the majority thought, thinking, conclusion is, that seems to be a bit of a problem. To be a conspiracy theorist means you are willing to investigate the theory. It doesn't mean that you believe the theory. Some theories are simply unprovable or flat out wrong. Even if it's unprovable, you could make the argument that the theory does not have enough validation, does not have enough information at this time, but we're still searching. But in so doing, if you come to that conclusion, you gotta say that. You gotta make sure that as you make your statements and pronouncements about this theory, you gotta make it clear that it's just the theory and there isn't a lot of validation. When you are in a position where you know you don't have enough information to validate it, and you still proclaim it as if it's no longer a theory, it's actual fact, now we got a problem. Now we got something else is going on. Either irresponsibility or worse. Now, what am I talking about? There is this notion about ancient Egypt, Kemet, being the real Kemet. What people say is the real Kemet is the United States of America. I am so sick of this type of conspiracy theory thinking. When you are a natural born skeptic, when you are a conspiracy theorist, and you do the research, There's no dots to connect. There's no evidence that can reasonably, logically pinpoint a time frame when what was originally called Turtle Island, the United States of America, was actually called Meri. Now you have the evidence that Meri is a name coming out of the Metuneta, who most people know as hieroglyphics, or hieroglyphs, I should say, which is ancient Egypt, which is Kemet, which is in Africa, on the continent of Africa. And you have people saying, no, Meri is really ancient America, before white people made it look so far away. This is just asinine. It just makes no sense. You can be a conspiracy theorist, but you have to come with the receipts. You have to be able to make good on your claim. Just saying it, oh, you just don't understand. You ain't doing nothing. Well, you need to do more research. No, you're the one making the claim. You need to show and prove your evidence. It's never appropriate to simply throw out any kind of a claim, but especially a preposterous proclamation. Now, yeah, I'm being biased when I call it preposterous, so let me rein it in. When you know that you are making a proclamation that is entirely alternative to the prevailing thought process, the prevailing understanding, it is your responsibility to come forth with the evidence. You are not allowed the privilege of simply saying, you need to do more research. And it's not only is it irresponsible, oftentimes, because this kind of information, if there is any evidence to substantiate it, the evidence is buried somewhere in some fringe, alternative, theoretical textbook, where telling people, like you yourself happened upon the information in some kind of weird, backwards mistake of a search pattern. And then, knowing this, you're going to tell people they need to do more research. Knowing 99% of the time, anybody that goes to look for it, they ain't going to find it. It hardly exists. It's in some lost annals of some library that nobody even has access to, but 3 people, and you just happen to find it. That's fine, not a problem, if you provide the access. You got some hidden book that nobody knows where it is, and you say, go do research. So look, all I'm saying is, if you're going to make such wild proclamations, come with the wild evidence. Stop all this pointing the finger and telling people they need to go do research. You give us the book, you give us the title, you give us the author, you give us the publication date, you give us the publisher, give us the author, give us the link where we can go read it ourselves. Give us all the appropriate information, and then we can go do research. But if you just say go read, go look, go search, this is not a philosophy class, is not a philosophy discussion. Seek and ye shall find. No. Provide the receipts and ye shall be validated. Otherwise, you look like a peace.